With the Great Bermuda recession continuing, calls have become louder in recent months for electricity provider Belco to reduce its rates to help those hardest hit by the recession. Well, News 9's Trott sought out Belco CEO Walter Higgins to ask him what can be done about those electricity rates.
Union officials and economists have called for Belco to have a rethink of its monthly prices for electricity, arguing Bermuda needs to engage in shared sacrifice, especially since civil servants have already agreed to a 5% pay reduction. We invited Ascendant Group Limited and Belco CEO Walter Higgins to weigh in on the situation.
Well, we'd be the first to agree that the rates are too high and something has to be done. And the answer, unfortunately, is not a short-term answer, but a long-term answer. Most of the cost of electricity and the thing that drives the rates is almost entirely related to the fuel that we have to burn in order to make electricity. It's oil. It's tied directly to the world oil markets, and oil plus the handling of the oil to get it here, plus storing it here.
It begs the question, what will it take for electricity rates to finally come down? Well, the answer, according to Mr. Higgins, is something called liquefied natural gas. However, he warns even when that comes online, there will be no free lunch.
Every solution has some cost, but we can get ourselves off oil over time. It'll take a couple of years. We can reduce the ups and downs of the fuel markets pretty much by virtue of getting off oil. And we can help clean up the environment to some extent by not burning oil anymore.
And it hasn't been exactly smooth sailing for Belco either, with the company reporting a loss of $3 million during the first half of this year, blaming the recession and fewer residents.
A utility is very directly tied to the health of the economy that it serves. We will sell this year about 13% less electricity than we sold 4 years ago. Now, that probably can be tied fairly closely to what's happening with employment and the economy of Bermuda. The oil costs a lot more than it did 4 years ago, and so the net of it is that the company's in the same squeeze that everybody else is. Fewer people, in the case of an individual, it's lower income. In the case of Belco, it's fewer people buying electricity, and some of the costs, like the cost of maintaining engines, don't go away.
Elsewhere, the CEO confirming that the company is in talks with government to come up with ways to lower costs to those hardest hit by the island's financial crisis. One idea is the hedging of oil prices.
What hedging does is it takes out the fluctuations. And sometimes that can really help because to the person on a budget, a bill that goes from $300 to $350 is a big deal.
A little-known fact is that if you're on government financial assistance, you already qualify for forgiveness of the base part of your Belco bill. That's the $33 charged a month for connection. Trott reporting for ZBM News 9.
And Mr. Higgins urging people to turn down water heaters, air conditioners, and to unplug household electronics to reduce energy consumption. And for more tips on how to reduce your bill, log on to belco.bm.